in the shades, what? Seychelles? I'll link it down below. Alright, so today it's the last Foundation Friday before 15 Days of Foundation starts next Friday. The eye twitch, you guys, it is not stopping. So I thought we would kind of wrap up Foundation Friday with another update video. I did this a couple months ago and you guys seemed to really like it. I basically just went through a bunch of foundations I'm trying, whether they're newer ones that I recently reviewed during Foundation Friday or just ones that I haven't talked about in a long time and have just been trying out again and trying to make work or mixing with different things. So we're going to go through it. I think I have 10 foundations here. It's basically just an update on a crap ton of foundations. So the announcement video for 15 Days of Foundation and Beauty Wishes 2019 went up last week, so I'll link that in the eye and down below. But we're shooting to raise $25,000. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. We were blown away. In my time, it's only been under 24 hours since I posted that. I'm filming this on the 2nd. It went up on the 1st. And we're already to about like last time I checked a couple hours ago, we were around $7,000. By the time this video goes up, it will be a week later. So hopefully we are even closer to our $25,000 goal. But if you want to participate and help us hit our goal, we are selling 15 Days of Foundation pocket guide books where you can follow along each day. These are down below. I'll link everything. We also have 2 different t-shirt designs and a decal. And the eBay sale, everything has now sold out. So thank you guys so much for everyone who bought through the eBay sale. There's other ways you can donate and get involved. So I'll link the website in the announcement video down below. All right, I have my notes here and we have a basket of foundation. Okay, so let's start out with the Urban Decay Naked Skin One and Done Hybrid Complexion Perfector SPF 20. So I actually tested this in a video, but I mixed it with another foundation, so I hadn't tried it on its own on camera. And on its own, this thing is beautiful. It has more of a satin matte finish, which actually looks so nice on the skin. It doesn't look like there's foundation or any kind of product sitting on top of your skin. It's almost one of those products that just like melts in, but it looks matte. My impression of this is that it's supposed to be kind of like a tinted moisturizer product. I view it actually more as a light coverage foundation, just the way it looks and the way it feels. Overall, I really like this product. I usually like more glowy foundations, but you guys will see a few different matte foundations in here. Lately, I've been kind of like into the matte foundations. If I can find one that looks soft and like airbrushed kind of matte and just very flattering and not cakey and heavy matte on my dry skin, then I'm all for it. It's just usually a little bit tricky to find that. The only thing that doesn't totally work for me with this one is the shade. It is a little bit dark. When it first goes on, it looks fine, but then it does oxidize a little bit. So that's the only downside for me with this one. I feel like when I wear it on its own, I can just see my face looking a little bit too dark. My favorite way to apply it is just with my foundation brush and just stippling it on, and then I'll go over and like smooth it out with a sponge afterwards, but that's usually how I apply most products to get the most kind of coverage. Overall, beautiful, like it way more than I was picturing I would like it, just based on like the description and everything. All right, a similar kind of product that I really don't like at all is the ILIA Sheer Vivid Tinted Moisturizer. This also has SPF 20 in it. It does say sheer, so I will give them that, but it is truly sheer. Like, I can't see anything happening on my face when I put this on. Like, on a coverage spectrum, 1 to 10, this is literally about a 0.04. 2 things I really don't like about this product. The scent, it has a super strong fragrance, and it is not a good fragrance, let me tell you that. Smells like rotten flowers or something. I'm really not into the scent of this. And the other thing is that this just does not blend out easy. It doesn't sit on the skin well. On my skin, like I say in every foundation video, everyone's skin is different. Since having oily skin before Accutane and now dry skin, and my skin has just changed so much in the last couple years, I'm like walking proof of that depending on your skin type, products can sit and look totally, completely different. So this is just my personal experience with these products. It can look completely different on you. On my skin, this looks like pure shitsies. It doesn't blend out well. It's almost like patchy until you really work it into your skin. I don't see it. I don't get the point. Okay, so in the last foundation update video, I mentioned how I was trying out the Joa Truly Yours foundation, and I had the shade that I thought was the lightest shade. I think that one was called Ivory, but Porcelain is actually the lightest, and I mentioned picking up Porcelain, so I have been trying this for a while now, the shade Porcelain. I mentioned this in multiple videos. I really like this foundation. This is more of a serum foundation, super affordable on CVS's website. You can get good coverage out of this. If you stipple it on and apply it in a certain way, you can get this to full coverage. I love using this as a mixing foundation, but also just wearing it on its own. I can go either way with this. I think if you have dry skin, dry, normal skin, you might really love this. If you have oily skin, no idea how this is going to wear on your skin. You probably will need to set it with a powder and everything. This one lasts really nicely on my skin. It doesn't crease bad. It just looks very dewy and fresh faced, but still gives you coverage. This is the Bobbi Brown Intensive Skin Serum Foundation. This foundation I want to like so bad because I freaking love the bottle of it, and I reviewed this in the Nordstrom foundation quiz video. It's what their little quiz popped out and told me I should buy. And overall, my consensus on this one is that it's just not worth the money. Doesn't look flattering on my skin throughout the day. If you want to see my full thoughts on any of these, definitely check out the review videos. I'm not going into like full detail about each one because we would be here for 2 hours. It looks really nice at the beginning, and then it just kind of like goes downhill. And for being so expensive, I think this one was around like $69, I want to say $60. For being that expensive, it just isn't worth it for me as like a mixing foundation. I tried to mix it and it looks fine mixed in with like the JOA foundation and CYO and stuff. It looks fine. I just wouldn't recommend that anyone buy this for the price point. Another product that I have very similar thoughts as my initial review video is Thrive Causemetics Buildable Blur CC Cream. For being a CC cream, this does have a lot of coverage. I'll give it that. I wouldn't say it's total full coverage, but you can get great coverage out of it, high, medium, around there. It's not blurring whatsoever on my skin, and this one also just doesn't wear well on my skin throughout the day. It starts creasing, it starts looking a little heavy. It just doesn't look the best compared to some other foundations and some other CC creams that I love. I would definitely go with the It Cosmetics CC Illumination over this any day. I also don't love that this one transfers so much. Like if you accidentally brush your face pulling back your hair, you're gonna have makeup all over that finger, and I don't love how it looks set with powder, even just on my cheek area like I usually do. I never set my full face, but even when I set just this area of my face, it just looks a little bit heavy, and you can almost see like separation between where I set my face and where I didn't set it. The only way I found that I don't mind this one is if I'm literally wearing it for like a couple hours to go run errands or something and I have no other makeup on my face. Like if I just want to kind of even out my complexion and have something on. Usually I don't do that. Usually I'll just wear nothing. But if I want to do that, then that's the only way I can do it. So I don't know. This one I think some people will like. For me, it just didn't work out. Next up is a foundation that I actually found online, TJ Maxx. I did a whole video testing out TJ Maxx makeup that I bought online. We did like a shop with me kind of thing. This is the Dolce & Gabbana Perfect Matte Liquid Foundation. It's in the shade Classic 60. And I was actually very pleasantly surprised by this one. And this is one of those foundations that is so close to being like fully there for me. When you first apply this, it takes a little bit to like work it into your skin, but it is full coverage. It's matte. The shade is a little bit too yellow for me. I can make it work, but it does look like a little bit off throughout the day. I don't know if it kind of oxidizes a little bit or just changes in undertone a little bit, but I do notice that the shade looks a little bit funky a few hours in of wearing this. It looks overall really nice, but about halfway through the day, I do start to crease pretty bad and it just looks a little bit too dry. So this one is like almost there for me. I love the coverage. I like the matte finish because it is like more of a soft matte. But as far as the creasing and those other things I mentioned, it's just not the best. I don't know if they discontinued this. I think they did. Like I think it's only available on TJ Maxx now. So I don't even know if you can find this one, but I have been testing this out a lot. It's also very fragranced. The next product is one of those that has actually been a favorite of mine for years. Like since I've had oily skin and acne, this was one of my holy grail products. This is the Covergirl Clean Matte BB Cream. This is actually in my favorite foundations for oily skin video. This is one of the best oil controlling products out there. If the shade doesn't match you, like this doesn't match me and you have to mix it, if you have oily skin, buy this just to use as a mixing product. It is so lightweight. It looks nice on the skin, but it controls oil like no other. This is like one of the best oil controlling products I found, whether it's a primer, foundation, anything, just mix in a dab of this. So I was very curious to try this one again since I now have dry skin and my skin is completely different. So I'm actually wearing this one right now mixed in with the JOA Truly Yours foundation. I really like these two mixed. I also love this one mixed with CYO. To my pleasant surprise, this one works fine on my dry skin. I thought it was going to be a total disaster because of how oil controlling it is. And if I mix it with something, like I said, I can't wear this on its own because of the shade anyways, but if I mix it with something that's a little bit more moisturizing, so as that kind of like dewiness and not even just finish wise, just like adding that moisture into my skin. I find this to be totally fine throughout the day. It does give me that kind of like soft matte look. Like right now my skin looks more satin matte. It's not like a full matte. You can see a little bit of dew on my forehead because of the JOA foundation. I do feel like this is one of those kind of rare products that can go either way. Dry skin, normal skin, oily skin. No matter what your skin type is, you can probably find a way to make this work. But I still think this is just like 10 out of 10 for oily skin. Okay, so CoverGirl CG Smoothers. This is another one that I recently reviewed in Foundation Friday. This is supposed to be like a hydrating, it says right on the bottle, hydrating makeup. And just by the sound of this, like smoothers, hydrating, I think I was just picturing something entirely different than what it is. I just don't have one thing that I like about this one enough to where I want to use it as a mixing foundation. I did try mixing it in with CYO. I tried mixing it with JOA. Tried mixing it with a few other things. And it's kind of just like, it's so to me that I'm like, why am I mixing this? When I usually mix foundations, there's something in each product that when they are added together are just going to complement each other and give you the best possible results. That's usually how I go about mixing foundations. So if you have a foundation that's just kind of like super average and doesn't bring a whole lot to the table, then there's just no point in really mixing it in my mind. But another CoverGirl product here. Wow, we have like 3 CoverGirl foundations in this video. But I wanted to update you guys on the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir foundation that I reviewed a long time ago. I reviewed this when I still had oily skin, and this worked beautifully on my oily skin. It's just way too dark. Again, CoverGirl foundations, this one actually matched perfectly. This is the only one that the shade was light enough. CoverGirl foundations usually run super dark. The lightest shades never work. Same thing goes for this one. This is the lightest shade, 705. I have 705 and 710. They're super similar. I don't know why. They could have just been one shade. So even when I had oily skin, I could never really wear this one on its own, even though if I had the right shade in this, I would wear it on its own because it looks beautiful. It gives you great coverage. It looks just like very healthy and plumping, and it wears amazing. Even on oily skin, if you like more of a dewy finish, but you find that dewy foundations don't usually last well on your skin, if you have oily skin, give this one a go. It still sits beautifully on my skin with dry skin. I can mix it pretty much with anything and it looks beautiful. The only other thing with this one is that it also oxidizes. So not only is the shade too dark on its own, but it even oxidizes a couple shades. So I basically have to use a super light foundation for me to mix in with this one so that by the time it oxidizes, it hopefully is close to matching my skin tone. When I mix in CYO with this, I just have to use the tiniest bit and have mostly CYO, or else my face will just be like orange looking. So it's just a little bit trickier for me to find shade-wise something that I can mix this with, but the formula and everything else, if you can find a shade that matches you, is gorgeous. The last product, and then I have 2 kind of honorable mentions I just wanted to give mini updates on, but this is the Josie Maran Vibrancy foundation. I have the shade RG5. Shade RG5 is actually a little bit too light for me, so I love mixing this one. I did a whole review on this when I had oily skin. This has been one of my favorite foundations for a long time now. I just kind of forgot about it and hadn't used it a whole lot since I've had dry skin, so I just wanted to whip it out again and see if I feel the same about it, and I do. It's a beautiful, super dewy, moisturizing foundation that lasts well on the skin. It really adds that nice like plump kind of look to your skin, so I really like mixing this in with pretty much anything. If I have a foundation that's looking a little bit too cakey or something and I want to add some coverage, I'll mix this in. I think I'm going to pick up the next shade up just so I can wear this on its own. Okay, so last 2 that are honorable mentions are only honorable mentions because as I posted on Instagram before filming this video, I realized that one of them is discontinued, and I actually looked up this one this morning and realized that this one is also discontinued, but here are the 2 products I'm talking about. I don't know what it is lately about me finding favorites that are then discontinued. The YSL Baby Doll Mascara that I used in the Duchess Megan video is totally gone. Disappeared literally the day I posted the video. Had the link for it. It worked. Then it was gone. My Old Spice Amber deodorant, don't even get me started. I am so pissed about that. They discontinued the amber scent, so I purchased literally like 9 on Amazon, and then I ordered some from the P&G website. I went a little crazy, but that is the best deodorant. Discontinued it. And then apparently these 2, which I also really have grown to love, are also discontinued now, but this is the YSL Fusion Ink Foundation. I freaking love this. I really wish this was still available. Hopefully if you have it in your collection still, you can whip it out and try it again if you have it. If not, I don't know what to tell you, but I just wanted to mention it just as an update. I don't know if this is totally not useful information since you can't buy it, but I have the shade B10. Like I said, I've been more into matte foundations. Both of these are matte, and this one just sits on my skin so beautifully. It looks like soft matte, doesn't emphasize my texture or my dryness. I don't have to mix this shade. The shade is really nice. It is very fragrance like usual for YSL foundation, so I don't like that about it. But as far as matte foundations, this one just feels so lightweight. It's like the Maybelline Dream Wonder one. Same kind of concept and everything. I do like this one a bit better. This one, why did they discontinue this? This I reviewed in a 15 Days Foundation series. I think it was season 3. And I did like this one when I had oily skin. This is a full coverage BB cream. I would just call it a full coverage matte foundation, honestly. I don't like this on its own for my skin. It is super, super yellow. It's mostly just the undertone that I don't like. But this mixed in with CYO, Josie, Maran, any of those kind of foundations, beautiful. If you have this and you have dry skin and you haven't been able to make it work, mix in something a little bit dewier. It still gives you a matte finish, so if that's what you're going for, but you still need your face to be a little bit more moisturized and just look more like smoothing. Love the coverage of this. Love that I can still get a matte face. Wish they still had this. I don't know why. So those were actually like 2 that I was most excited to update you on. Don't know what to tell you there, but maybe I should start looking up if things are discontinued before I start testing them again. But I hope you enjoyed today's video and found it helpful. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. All of the products are linked down below along with their original review videos. If you guys have any specific foundations that you want to see in the next foundation update video, let me know down below. Oh, let me tell you the makeup I used on the rest of my face before I forget. I used the new NARS Skin Deep, that is upside down, eyeshadow palette. And these are cool tones right up my alley. It is so hard to open every single time, but love the shades in here. I feel like I'm going to get a lot of use out of these. This is on my lid when in with some other the mattes. For the yellow shadow on my under eye, I used Maze in this Ace Beauty palette. Eyelure Francis So Pretty Lashes. Lips are Morphe Sasha. Bronzer, I used the Milani Silky Matte 01. Highlight was this Wet n Wild Air highlight. In Buxom, I tried this new blush by them. This is the Wanderlust Primer Infused Blush in the shades, what? Seychelles? I'll link it down below. My usual Monday, Wednesday videos are still going up next week, so you guys have videos leading up to 15 Days of Foundation on Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.